What's up, everybody? Back at it again. The basically the insert is still printing on this thing. So if this is your first time, I have this whole sort of box build that I'm building here. It's like a center console for my truck. And what am I in here? Let's see if I just push. Oh, I'm in this pocket. Okay, so basically I have a video in the description of how to do this. Okay, now his video didn't get me all the way where I needed to go. And I don't know if it's because I don't follow directions well or what, but I essentially eventually gave up and just started messing with stuff until this did what I wanted it to do. So basically what we have here, if you can see that, is a pocket of a Phoenix. So I explained in the last video that I've named my truck the Phoenix because it keeps breaking and I keep bringing it back from the dead. So it's also just like how my life has gone lately to some extent. So what we're going to do today is we're going to practice this. Now, basically, I'm going to come over here and delete all this because this is what we're going to do. But what I figured out here is through the help of this other channel, Ktec Designs. I wonder, can I turn off this? Hold on, sorry. No, just like I'm getting sidetracked here, but this stupid grid. Like when you do this stuff, when you start messing around in the draft, you get this like weird grid that appears all the time, and I swear I turned it off before, but I don't know how to turn it off now. So basically what we're going to do, like I might have to go back to draft. Let's see. Draft, and then toggle grid. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's going to turn back on in a minute here when we do this. So what we're going to do is go to part design. Okay, so download Inkscapes, watch Ktec Designs video, and that's going to show you how to turn any image into a SVG file, which is what I did here. Okay, and so this is saved as an SVG. This is my file. This is what I ended up with, which is just a vector drawing, or it's just these lines, right? Whatever that means. Okay, so, and then you just go file, import, and then you import your file. Okay, and then once you do that, you'll end up with this select module. So I imported the file. SVG as geometry is what you want here. Push select. Now it's here. Okay, now this is where it is complicated. There it is. Okay, now you see it's not where I want it. Like if I want to put it over here, which is what I'm going to try to do, it's over here. Now the other issue is it's all these paths. So you would have turned it into a path in Inkscape if you just follow the dude's deal there, you know. Like I'm not trying to this channel isn't for me. I'm not going to go through and do everything he did exactly how he did it. You're going to have to do that part. So the difference here is that, so what he did on here is he goes to draft, okay, and he selects all this stuff. So here, shift, there. So now I have all this selected. And then he moves it and scales it. Okay, I'm not going to move mine. I'm just going to scale it. And he goes to scale, and then he pushes enter point. And then, oh, I push rotate. Sorry. So this is all here. Then I go to scale. Then enter point. Uniform scaling, create a clone. I'm just going to leave it the size that it is, and then push OK. So now what I have is I have all these, and I have this path 1006, and it's got the little sheep, the one-eyed sheep there, so that's a clone. So now if I click on all this, shift, and I push spacebar, Now all that is muted, it's not there and it's hidden, right? So here I have this. Now, the difference is on his video, he's just making a new shape here. Well, he's making a new model. Well, I already have my model. So I want to move this to my model. Here's what I'm going to add, okay? So he will get you to this point, and then he just makes his model around where this is located in space. So what I figured out is right now, if you push this button right here, it says draft to sketch. It will turn it into a sketch, but then you can no longer move it. I was no longer able to move it. So what I did instead was I just started playing around with this, and I think I went to, I don't know if I went to move. Well, now I got to remember what I did. No, I need to change the attachment point of this. So I came into here, that's what I did, where it says attachment. And see, I can't do anything with it. I feel like he was able to just do this, but I'm not. So I came over here. Let's see. If I click on this, see it says deactivated. If I click on that, now it says attachment, no reference selected. So I clicked on the little 3 dots right there, and now I'm able to attach it to something. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to attach it to this face. Okay. Now this is something that it tells you not to do. See how it says pocket face, whatever. And this might break your model. So you might have to do this at the end, kind of like when we do the fillets. Now this model is done, and I will redo this a bunch of times so that I can remember. Now the problem is you see how it is? It's like it's flat there, but I want it to be like this, not like that. So before I do anything, I think we could just push OK here and move it later. In fact, let's try it that way, because before I moved it in here. So you just go down here and see that? So we have in X direction, attachment offset in local coordinates. Okay, so we can move this. Basically, I think I want it on that plane as far as the Z. So we want to move it down like this and then over like that or whatever. But the problem is that really what we need to do is rotate it first, because rotating it moves it in this fashion. You see that? So we want to do this first and then that. Let's go minus 90 because I think that's what I want. There we go. So now I'm straight up and down. Now I need to move it around to get it where on my model there. And I don't know if I'm actually going to leave this like this for the print, but this is how then you can do this with text too. There's another way to make text which is harder on this program than what this would be, because you could essentially make this in Inkscape or another probably any other type of drawing program, and yeah, you could do that. Okay, so that's about where I want it. So I'm going to push OK. And I'm going to try to move this after the fact too. So now I'm going to go to this button, which is draft a sketch, and push it. And now it's here, and it's located there in my model's space, but it's still not yet able to be pocketed out into that model. And so what I'm going to do now is that it created this sketch here. So I still have my clone, which I can now mute that, and now it's gone or hidden, and now I have my sketch here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to right B1. So here, I'm going to take my sketch and drag it up into there. So now I have it in my right B1. Wait, I put it in right B2. Let's try that again. Why? So they can't do that. Okay, let's Control Z it out of there. Why can't I do that though? Okay, there we go. Now I went into the right one. So I'm going to double click that to make that bold. And so I'm going to mute that one and mute the insert. I don't know why the insert's up. Okay, so now what I should be able to do is just do a pocket like I normally would. Let me see. So I still have, right now I still have this map mode deactivated. And I don't know if I click on this, if I could move it. If I come down here to placement, we'll see that it does have the angle at 90. Into here. So like if I come here to position like normal, will it move this? Yeah, it will. It's a little bit different though. The X is kind of acting like the Z. The Y is over and over and okay. Okay, so we're still good there. So if I put all those to 0. So now I can move it. So before when I did this the way that he did it, I got to this point and I was unable to move its position. And so I guess it, you know, where it's attached, it might be because it's attached to this. You know, and if the model is broken, which it might be on this one, I don't know. So let's do a pocket here, and let's see if we can still adjust this model with this pocket. And if we can't, if it errors, so I just clicked on the sketch and then a pocket. It's going to take forever because there's a lot more going on here with this sketch. Okay, so I'm going to pocket it at, if I do 5 millimeters, you know, that's fine. So the 3D printer will just print this, depending on how I print it. Like the problem I might have here is if it prints supports inside of here, I'm not going to be able to break them out. And so kind of the only way to really do this is to print it with this at the top, which is probably what I'll have to do even with these tabs poking out, which will mean it will just put in a whole bunch of plastic here for supports and print it up, because I think that's the only way this is going to turn out well with all these little, you know, these little guys in here. I don't print in that tight of tolerances that I would be able to break the supports out of this. And then if I did, a lot of times my stuff will leave little guys in here, you know, little attached things, because I'm not normally printing like artistic stuff like this. Normally everything I print is just for a purpose. It's for a function. And so, but that's all right. We'll just put the supports in, print it this way. You know, I don't have a problem with that. I probably won't put it on this piece, but this is just for learning how to do this. Okay, so we'll push OK there. And then it loads it in. So there we go. So let's say that I wanted to make this sketch different. Like, I don't know what, let's just do this. Let's say that wants to be 25 for whatever reason. Okay, we were spinning. Okay, it did it. I didn't get an error. I pushed close. And it made that one 25. So I didn't break the model, right? You see, obviously we have this weird thing here because our pocket that pockets that is no longer adequate for that, but it did do it. So there you go. I don't think I broke the model. I think it's going to work like that. So, you know, sometimes when you attach things like this to faces rather than like an XY plane, you can break things. But that's just the nature of the beast here, really. I mean, you're going to want to do things in a certain set of steps, like I was explaining on the last one. You don't want to do any roundovers, any fillets until the absolute end. This should be the last step, and that will keep your models from breaking, and it will make it so that you can go back in and adjust. And if you need to adjust this model and you have a fillet, a lot of times the best thing to do is to just delete your fillets, adjust your model, then put your fillets back on, and your model won't break, or it will be less likely to break. Okay, so there we go. So now I have my Phoenix on there. Where I really wanted this was not here, but that's where it is now. Let's put everything up. I mean, I don't hate him there. I could probably just do that and just print these things backwards. It's not going to use that much more plastic or take up that much more time. I mean, the only thing to note here is that I was going to print this and this on the same print. Which I probably will no longer do if I put it there. So probably what I would do is just not put it there and put it over here. And just get rid of this one. And then I can print this as the same piece. Print this as one piece with supports on the back. So that it prints with that side up. The front of this is covered. So really where I would want this though, I would think is right here. See this face right here is really where I would want this. Now I already have this thing here, right? And so it has its attachment point here, right? Which is that face. So if I come into here and do this, and I change this linked, can I change this to this? If I push OK, what happens? Like, I don't know if I changed it or not. And then if I change the position, what happens here? I don't know. I mean, it still might be there. I think I need to just go through and redo this to get to that point. I don't know if let's see. Yeah, because like these pieces are going to be printed by themselves. But yet again, it's like if I do that, this is going to have to be, instead of being printed on this face, right? It would have to be printed with supports and basically, on its back somehow, so that this would be the top. So like these I'm going to print from this side up. That was the plan and the way it was working. But I almost, because that, yeah, well, yeah, that's going to be the least amount of supports, I think. Unless if I print these on this back area, because then I don't think it would put supports in this at all. I think it would be able to do it because it's on an angle. Okay, I'm going to delete these. And it said that it needs this, the clone needs it, so I'm just going to delete the clone too. So see, I still have these sketches in here. What I'm going to do now, I wonder if I go, let's just reinsert it here. So we'll just re-import it again and do it all over again. So import, find your file, open, and then SVG. Okay, SVG as geometry, select. Okay, so there we go. We have it again. Shift click all of that, and then we'll go to draft. Okay, so now we're gonna just scale it, right? Enter point, create a clone. Okay. So now all of this is kind of useless. Okay, so now we have this. Come down here to, so like I wonder if, let's try this time to make a sketch. And then go to map mode and see if we can. Okay, so we can. Now the other thing that we want to do, I'm wondering if we can put it on it rather than attaching it to a plane. I mean, we could just put it on here. So there we go. So I mean, and that would angle it correctly. See that? Let's just do that. So we can do it after it's a sketch. So I could make another sketch from this, right? That would be, so if I push that again, now I have another sketch that doesn't have any attachment point. And if I just attach it to this point here, push OK. Like, what happened? How come that didn't work? Oh, because it's right there still, I guess. So if I come in here to attachment and move it, position, will it? Yeah, so that's another one. Okay. So axis, I think we had, no, angle. How did we flip it? Okay, so that one's flipped. Okay, so now can I scale it here? Uniform scaling, so if I just like, but I can make it bigger but not smaller. So I can't, it's not letting me make it smaller there. So can I make it smaller here? Like if I go to scale here, I can't make it smaller here either. So how do I make it smaller? Let's see, cancel. Do I just have to make it smaller before I import it in? Or how does that work? Let's see. Like if I do this, I can go to negative, but I don't know what that means. I just need to put all these as -10. What does that do? Nothing. Didn't make it smaller. Yeah, I don't know. Because you can't, yeah, you can make it bigger but not smaller with the scale tool. I don't know. And then, you know, it's kind of weird how it's like enter point. You know, okay, enter point. Let's see. So that makes it twice as big. So do I do 0.8? Okay, it's in percentages. Okay. Right. No, unfortunately, it moved it. So if I push OK, okay, so here's the clone. Okay. So what we need to do now is move the Z or whatever. The Y, I guess. No. Which one is it? It's this one. The X in this case. Okay, so you can make it, you can change it, the size with that scale. It's just like a percentage. So if you want it to be 80%, then do that. Okay, where did it go? How come you're not popping out yet? There we go. All right, here we go. We're making it. Where are we at? I don't know where we're at. We're way over there. Oh, wait. I thought we were moving in the right direction. Why does this seem to be going that way? Did it flip? Like, how do I make it go that way? This is moving that way. This is moving that way. Okay, now the Z is moving that way. I swear the Z was going towards us a second ago. Am I missing something? I mean, I don't get it. Like, I would think it would be the Z because of where we're attached. I don't know if it's just, if it was just doing some weird, like, because of my angle or what. So, I'm not sure what is going on there. Okay, let's bring it up here to where we're going to see it above the model. Now, I'm going to have to get rid of some of these once I get it where I want it here. I'm sure this makes great tutorial. I'm just learning this stuff as I go. So like everything that I just did today, I just learned right now. I mean, I had seen that Ktec design video before, and I had done this the once before, so I sort of knew what I could do. But yeah. So basically, we're gonna like drop it down until, and I would definitely only do this at the very end of your model because I don't know what this is going to break. Okay, so if I want that there, I'm gonna have to print this thing, and this is gonna have to be the top. And so, and I'm gonna have to just deal with the finish the way it is, which means I'm gonna have a bunch of lines in it. You know, a lot of times whatever I put on my base plate is more flat than the top of the print. You know, and this is probably just my my inability to print very well. So let's mute that one because we don't want it. Actually, let's mute all these for now because just to get them out of here. And so a lot of times when I design stuff, I'll do an offset. Like I might only do this side. So now we have this sketch, but it's a clone. And it's where we want it and everything. So we're in the draft. So if I push this, will it just make me a regular sketch? Yeah. Okay. So I just have a regular sketch basically where I want it. And then now what I need to do is figure out what this is. Is this the front? I think this is their front. Okay, so if I take this and I bring it to their front. It's now in there. And so now I can pocket or pad it. You know, that's the other thing. So you go to part design. With these ones I was pocketing, let's do a pad. So we're on the sketch, pad it. Oh, I always do that. Sketch, pad. We'll let it load up. This old computer here, probably don't want it to be that much, maybe like 2 millimeters. So it'll poke out, right? Which I'm sure if you had like a CNC, this would be useful because you could cut that out of something, right? You know, and like I could put some like words down here or something. I actually kind of like it poked out. I think I'm going to try to print this like this instead of the other way. And I think it's pretty much centered. I mean, I don't hate it. I could put another one over here, but I think I'm just going to leave it just like that. And print it like that and see. I'm already printing the insert, or else I would inlay one inside the insert here, but it's already coming, so I'm just gonna not. And I don't think I'm gonna do these ones on the side. I think I'm just gonna do just this one, which means I'm gonna have to print both of these pieces the opposite side that I was going to print them. And you know, I could print this the other way and hope for the best. It's possible that it would bridge these gaps without needing supports, but I just think that that's not going to work very well. And yeah, so I'm not going to do it. But I guess we'll have to just wait and see how these turn out. And you know, since this is at the end of my deal here, so I'm just going to push OK on that and do a 2 millimeter. The other question I have is if I want to, because there was I was talking about maybe taking this line and filleting. What does this do? Edge 5. If I want to fillet it to, because I think I want these sides to be round right here. It will kind of match the rest of the dash, and all that is round. There's not really a lot of square lines on it. So I noticed that this is kind of lagging, but I'm at the end of a very long, there's a lot going on here. So if I do that and leave this one, this might print like this. If I click on this and push print, then it would print this piece. But the one thing I don't know is if I connect this to this, how that's going to make the model without that. So on this one, it might pay to just delete this pocket because I don't want it there. Okay, and now I still have the sketch. I can delete that too because I have it on this one, and I think I'm going to leave it on that one too, and just do the same thing. Just offset it. I'll just print this from the other side, and so we'll have like these sort of logos there. I could do a Chevy logo here, you know, and I'm not really sure about the copyright infringement issues here. Like, look, I'm not trying to copyright infringe anything. I'm not selling this, okay? So, yeah, you're gonna have to do that at your own risk, I guess, whatever you're going to do. But I like that. Actually, though, with the fillet, I might have to move it a little. Where am I at? Not that one. I want this one. So if the fillet's there and I come to this sketch and the placement and the position, what happens if I move this? Does it do anything? Okay, it moved it, but I think the wrong way. Like as I click away, I have to wait for it to load it in. Okay, now we look like we're more centered, because before we didn't look like we're centered because this thing rounded now. So moving it over 3 millimeters kind of centered it out a little more again, which I don't hate it. The other thing I could do, since this is going to be a pad, is I could just print this on like a round model, and then just glue it there, you know, so it would just have like a little bit of a round raise, and then this thing, you know. I have this sticker on my truck that I cut it out of a vinyl, so a vinyl cutter, and I'm gonna put this on the hood. I'm gonna make like a giant vinyl sticker of this on the hood. The trailer that I've made, I'm going to find or draw some like flying phoenixes, and you know, it's just like basically a bathroom, right? So I think I was gonna like put like a moon sticker on the door with like some phoenixes flying near the moon, like it's all like a silhouette, right? So, and I have on the truck, I do have like a silhouette on the back. Let me see if I can open that. Let's save this. So we'll file, save. I'll show you what I mean here. No. So I have a US cutter, vinyl cutter. I think it's a 36 inch, I think. And so mostly what I do is I just use their kind of deal. What's it called? I just use their software to make my stickers, if you want to call that. I don't know. What did I even call this file? It's been so long since I made it. Anyways, I mean, basically the Freecad portion of this stream is probably over now. I'm trying to open up some of these designs that I did here. So what I did is I took a picture of the delicate arch and another kind of another thing. So this is the software that you get with vinyl, with your US cutter. It's called Vinyl Master. And so here's what the truck had on it. It had this rust spot. The rest of the truck doesn't really have rust. The frame's a little rusty, but as far as the body goes. And so what I did is I cut this out kind of with a die grinder, and I put in some new metal there, and I just painted it. And I don't have the picture of the repair, okay? But what I ended up with, and then I got this picture, okay, of the delicate arch, and I cut it out, and I kind of ended up with this right here, okay? And this software allows you to kind of, you know, take images and do this stuff. So, you know, and like I'm not selling this, I just made this sticker for my truck. So I basically cut this out here, and then I ended up making this. And so around the gas door, I have this round Chevrolet sticker. I put in this Vortec 8100 because that's what the truck is. And I actually left these rust lines in it so that you have these rust sort of whatever going through it. Patina, I guess. I don't know. And then I took like this picture here, and I sort of made this deal here, okay? Now the reason this is just square down here is because I just cut it like this in the vinyl. And then I laid it on the truck and I trimmed out the outside. It ended up being easier to trim around like this light right here. And they're down around here if I just did it on the truck. And so that's what I ended up doing. And so what I want to do now is sort of make, I mean, not today, but you can think about like the truck door is over here. I want to continue this sort of thing all the way down the truck. And one side will be this desert deal, so it'll be kind of desert landscape like this, and the other side will be a mountain landscape. And I'll do the same thing on the trailer, but I'm going to start to add in phoenix, like phoenix birds flying through the air, and maybe some sun, or a moon. Like obviously the trailer's going to have a moon, because it's a toilet, right? So, but yeah, that's what I ended up with on that. So don't hate. Same thing here. It's like, I think this is gonna work. So I think I'm ready to make all my fillets on this model. And another thing that you might want to do here is save this as a model without fillets, and then save it again and do all your fillets on the new model, and then you can go back if something breaks. Usually if something breaks though, you can just go over here and delete the fillet and then go back in the steps here. Like I've never had that not work, where I can go back in the steps here and delete whatever is causing my issue over here. So that is one thing, but yeah, I don't know how much more it has to print on this. I don't know if I did all these fillets on camera either the other day, but I did end up filleting this insert. I wish there was a solo button. Maybe there isn't, I don't know about it. So in the audio world, you can just solo a track, and then you don't have to mute all the other ones. It will just kind of do that for you. Okay, so I don't know if this is that easy to tell, but this just rounds over on the top and rounds over inside. So I filleted all of this out. And then the other thing to note is that now this thing, because of the way that we did it, it now sticks out. See that? It now sticks out, and so your phone is kind of in a pocket, and I like this design better. And then remember, this is going to be black, and this is going to be like beige or tan eventually. Okay, so it's going to look good, I think, other than maybe up here where it's just like sharp, I think this is going to look good. And I still will probably do a fillet here, so that's going to be some amount of filleted, like right here. And I mean, I have the other one at 5, so I might have to do that at 5. I don't know. If I can get this rotated correctly here. It's so hard to rotate stuff sometimes. So that will be kind of like that, right? And then same thing here, like this will have a fillet on it. So it'll kind of smooth it, the design out and round it a little bit. Because it is kind of like too squared off, like the whole thing. And so that is one thing that will be good. So I'm printing this right now. I'm not testing printing it. I'm full printing it. And so I have it in full 100% infill. And so it's taking a little bit longer. And plus, oh yeah, yesterday I did do a new test of this piece. And so kind of like what I was talking about, I took it off the printer too soon. And so I only have like a thin layer of this back. And all of this right here, the supports got stuck to it. I think because my thing is just off a little, so it was printing too deep on the supports on this side, and so the supports stuck to it. When I print this fully, those might be able to break off, but what ended up happening is this piece here was too thin and weaker than what it would break off, and so it didn't break off. But that doesn't really matter, even if this happens in the model. And what I'll do before I start printing all this stuff is I'll try to re-level my bed, make sure it's perfect. But even if this happened in the actual thing, it wouldn't matter because I'm putting an insert in here, And that is one thing that you might want to consider is how you're printing matters, how you're designing matters. And, this helped me because I was doing an insert anyways. I don't actually even need all of this to be plastic here. I just need enough of it to hold the charging pad in place. But that's how that ended up working out, and I think it's in a better position as far as it actually charging. I sort of tested it. I also realized last night that me designing this the way that I have is basically pointless because my wife has pop sockets on her phone and she can't use the wireless charging anyways. So, it is what it is. It's like, as long as it works with my phone, then whatever. And it is good that I did this because I'm not sure I'm not going to go back to the plus size because I had the plus before. Now I just have the regular, but I think I tested this and it ended up working here. So, but it's very hard to test in its state. So I don't know. I might end up printing this 2 or 3 times, but it should be the same as it was. I think it should be all right. And I think that I moved the moves I made on this thing to put it more in the spot of where it will charge, I think are more correct. So as far as like the pad movement up and down on the actual phone, I think I've got it in the right spot now. And then I'll have a thinner insert that I'm printing now so that it will hopefully work. Obviously we won't know till the whole thing is printed, but which will it'll probably take me weeks. I think just this part here is going to take 4 days to print or 5 days to print. Just this top piece. So this thing might not be printed for a while. And I don't have the biggest printer out there. It's only 200 millimeter print deck, which is another thing about this is that this could print a lot faster and be in a lot less pieces if I had a bigger printer. So you might be able to not have to do this sort of half stuff where I'm halving these two. If you were going to do something like this and you have like a bigger printer, it is what it is. I don't need this thing now, so it can be slow. And I also know that it would probably be faster for me to just build this. Maybe. It would be faster as far as time, but as far as my time, it would probably take me longer to build it. I could probably build it out of wood in about as long as I've modeled it on here, maybe less. But then it would be out of wood. So, there's that. So I'd still have to finish it somehow, and plastic is probably going to match the truck better than wood. So there's that. But yeah, I could probably build it out of steel pretty quickly too, but would it really look good? Like this is going to give me the best like polished look, I feel like, especially for stuff like that we were doing today, like putting different things like that on it, like that. I'm not going to be able to do that out of wood. Like, yeah, I could just 3D print that and then just like glue it to my thing or whatever, put some holes in it and screw it there. And like, that's another thing too, is that we could make badges in this way, like vehicle badges. Like people will go get those AutoZone letters and they'll put like their name on their truck in a badge, like a raised badge that's chrome or whatever. Well, you could take this and do that. Just, 3M sticky tape on the back of it, and there you go. Like this one might not work well because it has all these, areas here. But I was thinking about this, and this is what you do. Okay, you take this right here. So just the Phoenix part, and you see how it has like these little like areas in here or whatever. I think what you do is you print it like this, and then what you do is you take some sort of solid object, okay, and you double side sticky tape it, right? So like just anything, like any like straight flat thing, like, so let's say this, like my phone, okay? And when that got done printing, what you would have to do is double side sticky tape this really good, then put that on your build plate on top of the Phoenix, okay? And now what you have to do, this is the hardest part, and if you have one of those magnetic plates, this would work a lot better. You take your phone and the Phoenix and remove it at the same time. So now the Phoenix is double-sided sticky taped backwards to your phone or whatever you used as your guy, right? Then what you do is you take all of that and you apply whatever adhesive or however you're going to put it on the truck or whatever you're going to put it on. And you then put it on the truck and take your phone off and the double-sided sticky tape off the model. So then what you end up with is it all stays in its correct location, and basically just doing what you would do with a vinyl sticker. This all stays where it's supposed to stay, and it still has these gaps in it, you know. So if you were going to do lettering, you could either put a back on it like this, you know, and use that as your badge, like make your design like that, or you could just literally do that, what I just said, somehow come up with a way to apply it like a vinyl sticker. So essentially my phone would become the transfer tape. And I don't know, like you might be able to just use transfer tape. If like this is thin and little and light, you just put transfer tape across it. It might work. It would depend on how easily you could get this to unstick from your build plate, right? And like maybe if you used like TPU to where it's kind of stretchy anyways, you might be able to just kind of peel it off the build plate and have it attached to your transfer tape. And you know, so maybe you just need tape. I don't know. But that could be, maybe that's a video I need to make and figure out that process. Because like this would be cool to be gluing to my truck rather than, you know, as a sort of a badge rather than a sticker. Vinyl stickers, they come off. And I have a vinyl cutter, so I can just cut it again and put it back on. It's not that big a deal, but, you know, kind of the thing that I'm going for here, I mean, other than if you printed this in PLA, it might warp in the sun. But it might not, because I've recently printed the thing doesn't seem to want to really warp in the sun, so who knows. But anyways, that's how you could do that. Or lettering too. You 3D print your lettering on the thing, you know, to make badges for stuff. The other way you could do it is just like if I just attach this to a circle, you know, like the way it is, and then I just glue the circle to the truck, like nobody's really gonna know that, you know, or care that there's a circle behind it, you know. Like it's gonna do what it's gonna do. You could paint it, you know, just dip the top in paint so that it kind of stands out in a different color from the back. You could do, if you have a printer that will do multicolors, then you could print them in 2 colors. I don't know if you could sort of catch your printer, you know, when it stopped at that top plate, or an idea I just had. I don't know if this will work or not, but here's something I just thought about, and I might actually try this. What if you print a thing on your build plate in like black, and then you go back and change it to white, and could you change your Z offset and print 2 colors with a 1 color machine? Like, you know what I mean? So like you print something and you leave it there. Then what you do is you start the printer on your new print that's going to go on top, and you just change the offset by however thick your print is, you know. So, and then it just starts on top of your next print and starts printing with the new color. Like it might take a little bit of technique here, You know, obviously the first print where mine, it like print a line down the side there, I might have to pause it after that, change the Z to where it now goes over and it starts printing. Now I'm going to have to try this, because what that means is I could do that. I could print, you know, like a white underneath, print a white circle, and then change it to black and put this Phoenix in black on top of the white, even though my printer will only do one color. I've now like sort of turned it into a 2-color printer, and then that way I could make badges like this, you know. I could even do it on this model, right? Theoretically. As long as I did this as 2 pieces, like I made a new one with just this that wasn't attached to this, then I could make the 2 pieces, and then as long as I kept them in orientation, you know, in this way, in this angle, like that would be a little bit more difficult. It'd probably be better off just making a circle behind it and just gluing it onto here, really. I mean, you know, just print it in one color, which is what I'm going to do here. I don't mind the subtleness of it to where it's not standing out anyways. It's just sort of there, you know. So yeah. Anyways, all that to say is there's some things to try, you know. Printing in 2 colors with one printer. Printing badges with transfer tape. You know, so maybe I'll try that and see. Because I could essentially, you know, put these all over the cab of the truck, wherever, on everything I'm printing. You know, there's other things that I've made for this truck, like different switch boxes. I mean, that's basically what this is, but it's an overcomplicated switch box. I had these radios mounted well that worked before. All I wanted to do was add these 4 switches, you know, and that was like 10 hours ago on CAD, just to get these into some sort of decent box. So there you have it, I guess. So I don't know if this is going to be the last one or not. You know, I'll see what I come up with on this deal tomorrow or tonight or the next day or whatever. But here it is. Here's the full, I think, finished deal. Obviously, I'm going to get some more fillets in on some of this stuff. You know, like I think I did a 5mm fillet on this one here. On the other side, so we could do that here. But the only thing is like on this one I did a 4mm, and I don't know what does this look like when it's 4, because it's at a different angle. It's like it doesn't exactly jive, but maybe 4, if I do 4 on both, maybe it will be fine. Maybe I'll do that. I don't think this front needs it, but I could try to do this. I don't know if it will let me. It'll let me do 4 there. Yeah, it will. So I could do that. I just kind of will round it off. I don't know how high this thing is on the truck. As far as like, there's cup holders right here. So some of this will be hidden. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how high I made this fillet here for it to be hidden. So let's see. So what is this? This is the front 101. It's this one. So like if we added another fillet here that's 4mm on that line. And then we go to this fillet and change it to, I'll have it at 7 to 4. Oh, what happened? That one, for some reason, became muted. So is that right? Why does this look weird? Like, should it be... Did I do the other one at 4? Where's the other front? Fillet 8. It's at 4. So why does this not look the same? Like, it looks the same, but these lines are in different spots. I did that at 4. Did I do the other one at 5? Yeah, I did. that would be why. Okay, so that looks pretty good there. So what about this one then? Which is their front back 01. Is that what it is? Or is it their front back? Okay, their front back. I don't know why I gotta confuse myself with how I name everything. So that one, we want it 4. So there, now it kind of like rounds down, you know what I mean? And that's basically probably all I would fill it. This area here is sort of hidden, and that's obviously down. This is going to be covered, and that's going to be covered. Oh, crap, though. I just realized something. The Phoenix might get in the way here of the plate. Because how far? Because this is going to go in that hole. Let's look at this. We're going to have to get the calipers out. You know, this is another deal when you're making this custom stuff. Sometimes you run into things. Run into issues. I'm tired, and today I got a lot more work to do. Yesterday got one shed removed. I sort of built this temporary shed that didn't end up being temporary. And it's gone, so I can put my trailer over there. Okay, so in this space, I have about 16 millimeters or so that I need open for this thing to go. So, will it let me, I don't know if it will let me measure that or not the way that I want to. So I've not had very much luck with this measure thing here. Okay, there we go. So that's only 8 millimeters. So I'm gonna have to move that deal over. That's a pad, right? So let's find that deal. It's their front. Might even have to like resize it. Like this might not work. Might have to push it. Might have to push it all the way over to the fillet. Okay, that's as far as we can go. If I want any space in between there at all. So how far did I move it? I think I moved it 9 millimeters. So if we go back to the measure and we push clear, learned that last time. So selection 1 will be that line. Selection 2 will be that point. Now we're at 17. So basically this is going to go up right against it. So that has to go there, and hopefully that will work with any luck. But now I kind of want to move it up, I think. It's not centered in here. Did it move? That is the wrong way. Okay, so that was pushing it in, I feel like. So which one do we want then? Z? So 213. That errored. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this thing's gonna let me move it. If I move it to 5, where does it actually go? I don't know if it went anywhere when I did that though. Okay, this is moving it side to side, which you can't do that. So it should be the Y, not the Z. The Z should go in and out, but before when I was doing this, it was kind of messing up too. It wasn't like, I felt like it wasn't doing it right. So if I go to minus 144 errors, how come I can't move the one that I want to move? Like I can't move it at all. Okay, I can move it that way. Which is the way that I want to move it, I think, right? It's like going back in though. It's going inside it. I don't know if it's moving it up. It might be doing both. So now can I move the Z? Alright, so it's kind of moving it in and up. So I can't do that because now it's not attached. So, I feel like it's more centered now, but I don't know if the model's broken. It is broken. Yeah, because the attachment, I think what we need to do is delete this pad. See how bad, yeah, because now I have my fillets. So my fillets are attached to this. So this is what I'm talking about with doing your fillets. You sort of want to do them. So let's delete this fillet. And then 9's now screwed up, so we'll delete that, and then we'll delete the pad. And so now we just have the attachment, or the sketch. And so now can I just move it? Yeah, so now I can just move it. So it's almost like it's like going in and up, right? So if I move it where I want it, like I don't know if where my camera is affecting it either, but it looks better there than where it was. Okay, so let's just try that and see what happens here. So now if I pad this to 2, okay, pad it to 2 millimeters again. Okay, so I don't think it's attached to anything. Cancel. We need to get it. Like, I don't know if it's the face it's attached to, if it's this funky angle, like, or what is happening here exactly. But we're just going to keep working with it. Okay, I think that's what I want. Okay. So now, if I just do my other, this, or here. So if we click that and then control click this, maybe we can just make one fillet. at 4 millimeters. Okay, that works. Now it's higher, it's more centered with this rather than the whole thing, which I think I like. Once I put the switch in here, I think that's what is gonna look good. It doesn't look good right now because the switch is gonna be here, right? So that's what I'm gonna call it for now, and hopefully it's gonna be all right. So we have the offset Phoenix. It's only on one side, and like I won't ever see this one because I don't ride over here. Nobody ever drives this truck. You know, like I'm always driving. So whatever. There you go. I guess I'll see it if I plug shit into there. Well, hopefully that helped, and just know that you're not the only one who has all these errors. That's one thing about these tutorials is they don't leave the errors in, or they don't have them. I don't know. So if you error like me, then that's what I do. It's so much that, like, I even moved to that box. It used to just come up here and take up half the screen. I moved it over here and just killed it off because it's the information in it hasn't ever been useful to me. But this, I think this will work. I'm just gonna do it like this, and maybe I'll come back in 3 or 4 weeks and give an update. But anyways, thanks for watching. This helped you in some way or another. And I don't know what I'm going to go do now, but enjoy your day. Okay, bye.